This has been a busy morning already. We are going live to pictures from Washington, D.C. And the latest report is that there have been immigrants by bus dropped off at Vice President Kamala Harris's residence. This is just outside her home. You can see from these pictures dozens, I would say more than 100. I don't know if there are multiple hundreds of people outside on the lawn there, but not a small number of people outside, not the White House, but Vice President Harris's home address. You are looking live in Washington, D.C. This is the latest breaking news, potentially another contention between Governor Greg Abbott of Texas and the northeastern cities that he has deemed
There's nothing new under the sun.
Me and my mom.
Betty Williams was 18, the second oldest of 13 kids, when Southern segregationists sent her family north with false promises of jobs, housing, a better life. It was 1962, and her mother was dressed to meet President Kennedy.
She was actually told that the Kennedy was going to meet her wherever she was dropped off in Hyannis. She was thinking that they was going to be there.
3 days after leaving Little Rock, Arkansas, their Greyhound bus arrived in Hyannis, not far from the Kennedy family's summer compound. President Kennedy was not there to meet the bus, but Margaret Mosley was.
Most of the people who came had only a shopping bag with perhaps one change of clothing, no money, knowing nobody. It was one of the most inhuman things that I have ever seen.
A longtime civil rights activist, Mosley knew that the people on board, the so-called reverse freedom rides, were pawns in a segregationist game.
The Northern Liberals and the NAACP, Urban League, and people like that especially, they have been crying the sing-song in behalf of the Negroes throughout the nation. And, of course, now when it comes time for them to put up or shut up, they have shut up.
About 200 African Americans were given one-way bus tickets north. Nearly half of them ended up in Hyannis. They were housed for a time at Otis Air Force Base.
As I drove one family up one evening, the young son in the family asked me, "Where are the cotton fields?" I said, "We have no cotton fields here." He said, "Well, what am I going to do to find employment? I can chop cotton. I don't know how to do anything else."
We didn't really have anything. We just had our clothes, and we didn't have furniture and stuff like that we can bring here.
Like many of those sent to Hyannis, the Williams family ultimately moved to Boston in search of work. Things they'd never experienced before started to define their lives. Drugs, jail, neighbors who didn't know or care about them. And then there were things they were familiar with, racism. In Boston, some of the Williams children experienced the worst of school busing.
But the people from Arkansas that sent us from the south to the north, I have no anger in my heart against them. I don't want no hatred to live in my heart nowhere. I don't have no room for that. So I just keep moving forward.
Shaped by history, her family's and the country's. Gabriela Emanuel, WGBH News.